When life gets tough, most people look for strength in the outside world. But the truth is, the greatest strength you'll ever find lives inside your mind. Mental strength isn't about never feeling pain or never falling. It's about what you do when life knocks you down. Today, I want to remind you of 10 powerful signs that show just how strong you really are. You know you're mentally strong when you stop looking for excuses and start taking responsibility for your life. You don't wait for someone to come and save you. You take ownership, and that changes everything. You know you're strong when failure no longer defines you. Instead of being broken by setbacks, you use them as fuel to grow. Every mistake becomes a lesson, and every fall becomes a chance to rise stronger. You know you're strong when you can control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Anger, fear, sadness, they visit everyone, but you don't let them drive your life. You choose calm, focus, and clarity. You know you're strong when you learn to say no. Not because you're cold, but because you respect your time, your energy, and your dreams too much to let them be wasted. You know you're strong when comparison no longer steals your joy. You celebrate other people's wins without questioning your own worth because you know your journey is unique. You know you're strong when you embrace change instead of running from it. Life will always shift. People will come and go. Opportunities will appear and vanish. But you adapt, you adjust, and you keep moving forward. You know you're strong when you keep your focus on the long term, not the quick reward. You can sacrifice short-term comfort for future greatness because you know discipline will carry you further than motivation ever could. You know you're strong when you let go of what you cannot control. Instead of wasting your energy on things beyond your reach, you channel it into the things you can change. And that's where your power lies. You know you're strong when you practice gratitude in the middle of the storm. Even in pain, even in chaos, you find something to be thankful for. And that shifts everything. Gratitude turns obstacles into opportunities and darkness into light. And finally, you know you're strong when you keep going no matter how heavy life feels. Even when it hurts, even when you're tired, even when no one believes in you, you refuse to quit. Because you understand that true strength isn't about never falling, it's about always rising. So the next time you doubt yourself, remember this: mental strength isn't something only a few people are born with. It's something you build day by day, choice by choice, thought by thought. And if you recognize even a few of these signs in yourself, then you're stronger than you realize. So many people believe that being strong means being unshaken, untouched, and unhurt by the storms of life. They think mental toughness is about putting up a wall so high that pain can never reach them. But that is not real strength. Real strength is not about escaping pain. It is about what you do with that pain when it arrives. It is about how you rise after every setback, how you rebuild after every loss, how you stand tall even when the weight of the world is pressing down on you. Pain is not something you can avoid. It is a teacher. It is a constant. It is part of the journey every human being must walk through. You cannot outrun it, you cannot hide from it, and you cannot deny it. But what separates the weak from the strong is not the absence of pain. It is the ability to face it head on, to endure it, and to use it as fuel for growth. The strongest people you've ever admired are not the ones who lived easy lives. They are the ones who kept moving when life tried to stop them. Every time you fall, you are given a choice. You can stay down, complaining about what went wrong, blaming the world, blaming people, blaming fate, or you can get back up, even if your legs are shaking and your heart is heavy. Rising again doesn't mean the pain vanishes. Rising again means you choose not to let the pain define you. It means you decide that your story will not end in defeat, but in perseverance. Think about it. Every setback you've ever faced, every rejection, every failure, every heartbreak felt like the end in the moment, didn't it? It felt like nothing would get better, like you had no strength left to give. But somehow, you're still here. Somehow you made it through. And if you look closely, you'll realize that you didn't just survive those moments. You grew from them. They shaped you. They gave you wisdom. They taught you resilience. They turned you into the person you are today. That's the beauty of rising after setbacks. Pain does not break you, it builds you. The truth is, you will never find strength in comfort. Comfort zones do not teach you resilience. Easy paths do not prepare you for storms. It is the struggles, the challenges, the moments where you thought you had nothing left that mold your character. Diamonds are created under pressure. Muscles are built through resistance. And mental strength, it is forged through adversity. When you fall, don't see it as failure, see it as training. Every time you rise after a setback, you add another layer of armor to your spirit. You begin to realize that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. And that confidence, that inner power, is priceless. You stop fearing the unknown because you've been knocked down before and you know you can get up again. Some people spend their whole lives trying to avoid pain, trying to stay safe. They play small, they avoid risks, they silence their dreams just to protect themselves from disappointment. But in doing so, they miss the very experiences that make life meaningful. The strongest people don't avoid risk. They take it, they embrace it, knowing full well that setbacks may come, but also knowing that they have the strength to rise again when they do. Every time life pushes you down, remember this: falling is not the end. Falling is part of the process. Falling is proof that you are in the arena, that you are fighting, that you are alive. What matters is not how many times you fall, it's how many times you stand back up. Strength is built in the comeback. Think about a seed buried in the soil. To the outside world, it looks like it has been crushed, swallowed by the darkness. But inside that soil, something powerful is happening. The seed is breaking open. Roots are forming, growth is beginning. Setbacks in life work the same way. They bury you for a time, they put you in darkness. But if you keep pushing, if you refuse to quit, you will rise stronger, taller, and more resilient than before. It's not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. It's about finding courage in the chaos and peace in the pain. Real mental strength is choosing hope when everything around you feels hopeless. It's standing tall even when your voice shakes and your knees tremble. It's refusing to let temporary defeat convince you that your dreams aren't worth fighting for. You see, setbacks are not permanent. They are only moments. They are chapters in your story, not the entire book. When you're inside the struggle, it feels endless, but nothing lasts forever. Storms pass, wounds heal, pain fades. But what remains is the strength you gain from enduring it. That strength is yours to carry for a lifetime, and it will prepare you for every challenge ahead. Mental strength doesn't make life easier. It makes you better. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It turns breakdowns into breakthroughs. It turns setbacks into comebacks. But only if you choose to rise. The choice will always be yours. There will be days when you feel like giving up. Days when the burden is too heavy, when the voice in your head whispers that it's not worth it. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments where your future is decided, not by the difficulty of the challenge, but by your response to it. If you rise, if you fight one more time, if you take just one more step forward, you prove to yourself that nothing can truly stop you. And here's the secret: every time you rise after a setback, you inspire others. You may not realize it, but your courage becomes a lighthouse for someone else who is struggling in the dark. Your resilience becomes proof that survival is possible, that victory is possible, that growth is possible. Your strength doesn't just carry you, it carries others too. So don't be ashamed of your setbacks. Don't hide your scars. They are not signs of weakness. They are proof of battles fought and battles won. They are reminders that you have endured what once seemed unbearable. They are medals of honor, and they tell the world that you are unbreakable. When life knocks you down, and it will, remember this truth: you are stronger than you think. The pain you feel today will become the power you carry tomorrow. The setback you face now will become the story of your comeback. And every time you rise, you step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. So stand tall, no matter how many times you've fallen. Rise again, no matter how heavy your heart feels. Keep fighting, no matter how tired you are. Because mental strength is not about avoiding pain. It is about how you rise after every setback. And as long as you rise, as long as you refuse to quit, there is no force on earth that can hold you down. True strength isn't about having everything go your way. It isn't about controlling the world, forcing circumstances, or demanding that life always be fair. Real strength is about mastering yourself, your mind, your habits, your attitude. It's about building discipline, choosing gratitude, and focusing only on what you can control. That's where true power lies. Think about it. Life will always test you. Plans will fall apart, people will disappoint you, opportunities will vanish. If your strength depends on everything going perfectly, You'll be broken the moment something goes wrong. But when your strength comes from within, when it's built on discipline, gratitude, and clarity, you become unshakable no matter what storms arrive. Discipline is the first key. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Motivation comes and goes. It's a spark that fades when things get hard. But discipline, that's the fire you build and keep alive every single day. Discipline is what pushes you to show up when you don't feel like it. It's what keeps you consistent when no one is watching. It's what carries you through the days when your body is tired, your mind is doubting, and your heart is questioning whether the journey is worth it. Look around. Every great achievement, every dream realized, every champion crowned is built on discipline. Athletes don't become world class because they felt like training every day. Writers don't finish books because they were inspired all the time. Leaders don't create impact because the path was always easy. They all had one thing in common: the discipline to keep going, to put in the work, to do what needed to be done, even when it wasn't convenient. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from regret, from excuses, from wasted potential. But discipline alone is not enough. You need gratitude. Gratitude is what grounds you when life feels overwhelming. Gratitude is what keeps you from chasing emptiness. Too often, we look at what we don't have and forget everything we do have. We think happiness comes from the next achievement, the next milestone, the next possession. But the truth is, if you can't be grateful for what you have now, you'll never find joy in what's ahead. Gratitude transforms your perspective. It allows you to see blessings where others see burdens. It gives you peace in the storm because even when life is hard, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging the pain while still choosing to see the light. It means saying, yes, life is difficult, but I'm still breathing, I'm still learning, I still have people who care about me, I still have chances to grow. Gratitude gives you resilience because it shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from weakness to strength, from despair to hope. And then there's the third piece, focusing only on what you can control. So many people waste their energy fighting battles they cannot win, trying to change the past, trying to control other people, trying to predict the future. That's a recipe for frustration, disappointment, and endless stress. True strength comes when you realize you cannot control everything, but you can always control yourself. You can control your actions, your effort, your response, your attitude. That is where your power lies. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you steer your ship. You can't control what people say about you, but you can control how you carry yourself. You can't control every circumstance, but you can control how you show up in the middle of it. The moment you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change and instead pour it into what you can, your life transforms. You become efficient, you become focused, you become unstoppable. Imagine combining these three: discipline, gratitude, and focus. Discipline gives you consistency, gratitude gives you peace, focus gives you clarity. Together, they create mental strength that no setback, no critic, no obstacle can shake. With discipline, you move forward. With gratitude, you find joy along the way. With focus, you channel your energy into progress instead of frustration. Think about the alternative. Without discipline, you drift, you let circumstances decide your future. Without gratitude, you complain, you let negativity poison your spirit. Without focus, you scatter, you let distractions steal your potential. But with these three, you rise above. You gain the strength to keep moving, the wisdom to stay grounded, and the courage to fight for what matters. It won't always be easy. Discipline will test you when your comfort zone whispers for you to quit. Gratitude will challenge you when pain makes it hard to see blessings. Focus will stretch you when distractions scream for your attention. But if you commit to these practices, if you live them daily, you will become stronger than you ever imagined. And remember, true strength is not loud. It doesn't need to boast. It doesn't need to shout. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It's in the person who wakes up early to chase their goals. It's in the heart that finds joy in small things. It's in the soul that chooses to fight battles that matter and let go of those that don't. That's what discipline, gratitude, and focus give you. They make you resilient in silence, powerful in patience, and unbreakable in spirit. So when life feels heavy, when the road feels uncertain, when doubt creeps in, go back to these three. Ask yourself, Am I disciplined enough to keep moving forward even when I don't feel like it? Am I grateful enough to see the blessings even in the storm? Am I focused enough to put my energy where it truly matters? If you can answer yes, then you already have more strength than most people will ever realize. This is the foundation of mental toughness. Not perfection, not control over everything, but mastery over yourself. And when you master yourself, no setback, no failure, no disappointment can take away your power. So build your discipline, train your mind like a muscle, push yourself beyond excuses, show up every day, practice gratitude, shift your perspective, count your blessings, see the light even in the dark. Sharpen your focus, release what you can't control, pour your energy into what you can. Because when you live this way, you are not just strong, you are unstoppable. And that is true strength. Mental strength isn't about being perfect. It isn't about always having the right answers or walking a smooth path without mistakes. Mental strength is about one thing: you never quit. You adapt, you grow, and you keep moving forward no matter what life throws your way. That is the mark of someone truly strong. Not that they never stumble, but that they never stop. Life will test you. There will be obstacles you didn't expect, setbacks you didn't plan, for losses you thought you could never handle. You will face days when everything inside you screams to give up, when quitting looks like the easier choice. But mental strength means you refuse to give in to that voice. It means you find another way, you make another plan, you take another step. You bend, but you do not break. You adapt, you grow, and you keep moving. Adaptation is survival. The strongest aren't the ones who resist change. They are the ones who flow with it, the ones who find opportunity inside of it. You can't control how life unfolds, but you can control how you respond. When the path ahead is blocked, you don't stop, you carve a new path. When the door closes, you don't sit in despair. You look for the window, the crack, the opening that will lead you forward. Adaptation is not weakness, it is intelligence. It is the ability to keep moving when circumstances shift. Growth comes from struggle. Every challenge you face is not there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. Growth happens when you face discomfort, when you step into the unknown, when you keep going even when it's hard. You don't grow when everything is easy. You don't grow when everything goes according to plan. Growth is born in the fire, in the trials, in the moments when you thought you couldn't. But you did. Every obstacle you overcome leaves you stronger, wiser, sharper than before. And then there is persistence, the refusal to quit. This is the heartbeat of mental strength. The people who succeed, the ones who change their lives and the lives of others, are rarely the most talented or the most gifted. They are the ones who simply refuse to stop. They kept showing up. They kept fighting. They kept moving forward when everyone else gave up. That's what persistence does. It carries you through the seasons of doubt, through the nights of fear, through the storms of failure. Quitting is easy. Quitting requires no courage, no resilience, no strength. But refusing to quit, that's where your power lies. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Even if you stumble, even if you crawl, as long as you keep moving, you are not defeated. You may not see it in the moment, but persistence compounds. Every day you choose to keep going, you're stacking bricks, building momentum, creating a foundation that nothing can take away from you. One day, you'll look back and realize that what once seemed impossible is now behind you, not because the road was easy, but because you refused to quit walking it. Think about nature. The river doesn't stop because there is a rock in its way. It bends, it flows, it finds a new course. Over time, it carves through stone itself. That's what mental strength looks like. Not stopping at obstacles, not letting setbacks end your journey, but finding a way around, over, or through them. You don't stop. You keep moving because persistence always wins. Every great story is a story of persistence. Every hero you admire, every leader you look up to, every champion you celebrate has walked through moments where quitting seemed easier. But they didn't stop. They adapted, they grew, and they pushed forward. That's why we call them strong. That's why we remember their names. The truth is, strength is not tested on your best days. It's tested on your worst. It's tested when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're broken. That's when you decide who you really are. Anyone can keep going when things are easy, but it takes a warrior spirit to keep going when the world is against you. Mental strength doesn't mean you'll never doubt yourself. It doesn't mean you'll never feel like quitting. It means that even in those moments of doubt, you choose to keep moving anyway. You don't wait for fear to disappear before taking action. You move through it. You don't wait for motivation to arrive. You build momentum through persistence. And here's the beautiful thing, every time you choose not to quit, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. You expand your limits. You stretch your potential. You teach your mind that it can endure more than it imagined. That's how confidence is built. Not by talking yourself up, but by surviving what once felt impossible. Remember, it's not about speed. It's not about how quickly you reach the finish line. It's about consistency, about refusing to stop no matter how long the journey takes. A slow climb will always beat a fast quit. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. So when life gets heavy, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when everything inside you wants to quit, adapt, grow, and keep moving, shift your strategy, but not your vision. Change your path, but not your destination. Adjust your methods, but never abandon your dreams. Because persistence always pays off. Someday, the struggles that feel impossible now will be the stories of how you made it. Someday, you'll look back and thank yourself for not quitting. Someday, you'll stand on the other side of pain and realize that every ounce of struggle shaped you into the unbreakable version of yourself. Mental strength means you don't stop. You bend, you learn, you evolve, you grow stronger with every setback. You refuse to quit. And as long as you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, no matter how heavy, you are winning. Because true defeat only comes when you stop trying. But as long as you rise, as long as you adapt, as long as you grow, as long as you keep moving, you are unstoppable. That is what it means to be mentally strong.